Welcome, everyone, and I am Dave Richo. I'm really happy to be with you, and I wanted to introduce my video called Letting Go of Fear. The first thing to keep in mind is that all of us have fear pretty much all the time in the course of the day. Um, we are worried about one thing or another. I don't mean every minute of the day, but throughout the day, fear comes to visit. I remember in the seminary once, the professor said, any bird can fly over your head, but it's up to you if it makes a nest in your hair. Of course, that was back when I had hair. Any fear, any worry can fly over, come through you, but you don't want to let it nest in you because it interferes with the basic purpose of our life, which is a serene love. What fear does is it cancels love because it creates division, and love is unity. So I came up with this list of affirmations that bring you into the various fears that all of us humans have at one time or another. And what I found was that when I watched the video each day, or even morning and evening, for a while, for as long as it felt like it was making a difference, I noticed I had less fear than I usually do. And the one thing to keep in mind is not to put yourself down because you have fears and worries, because as I said before, we all have them. Also, it's important to let go of the belief that someday you will be completely free of fear. That may not happen. Most likely it won't. But that can no longer matter. It no longer matters whether you have fears or not. What matters is that you no longer are stopped by your fears from doing what really fits for you and your life purpose. And you're no longer pushed into doing things that interfere with your life purpose. What is our life purpose? It's expressed very beautifully in the liturgy of Christ the King. To co-create on earth a kingdom of justice, peace, and love. So I'm hoping that as you listen to the affirmations and kind of repeat them in your own mind as you're hearing them, that gradually you will release yourself from some or many of the fears that plague you. And you don't want to feel bad about yourself because you have fear, but you will feel much better about yourself when you put some energy into dealing with the fears. And the final thing I'd like to say is that when you're listening to the affirmations, you can watch the video, which has slides that help you be more relaxed, or you can simply listen to the affirmations. You can download them, put them on your phone, and just listen to them anytime throughout the day. You don't have to look at the video. Also, if there are some affirmations that really strike you, you can press pause and you can write them out in your own handwriting. In your own words, and create your own audio to put on your phone and hear yourself saying the affirmations. In that way, you hear yourself sounding brave. And what we're doing in all of this is accessing that bravery that's in every one of us. Remember that when you were confirmed, one of the 7 gifts of the Holy Spirit, all 7 of which were conferred on you in that sacrament, one of them is fortitude. And fortitude is letting go of the grip of fear. We don't let go of fear itself. We let go of being in its grip. We are no longer in the grip of fear. We are in the grip of the Holy Spirit, who is conducting us through this worrisome world. Thank you. Affirmations to free ourselves from the grip of fear. I trust my true fears to give me signals of real danger. I see that I also have unreal fears and worries. More and more, I recognize the difference between real and imagined fears. I feel compassion toward myself for all the years I have been afraid. I forgive those who hypnotized me into unreal fears. I trust that I have as much fearlessness in me as fear. I trust the strength that opens in me when I have to face something. I believe in myself as able to handle what comes my way. I create a pause between a trigger and my response. I have the inner resources to handle any fear or trigger. I find support inside and outside myself. I have an enormous capacity for rebuilding, restoring, and recovering from fear. I am more and more sure of my abilities. I am more and more aware of how I hold fear in my body. I relax the parts of my body that hold fear. I am freeing my body from the grip of fear. I open my body to joy and serenity. I let go of the stress and tension that come from fear. I let go of my fears of sickness, accident, old age, and death. I let go of my fear of the future. I let go of my fear of the unknown. I cease being afraid of knowing, having, or showing my feelings. I am less and less scared by what happens, by what has happened, by what will happen. I let go of my fear of what might happen. I let go of my obsessive thoughts about how the worst will happen. I let go of fear-based thoughts. I trust myself always to find a solution. I catch myself when I engage in paranoid fantasies and I let them go. My trust in myself is releasing me from fear and fearsome fantasies. I let go of regretting my mistakes. I find the path to going on. I let go of basing my decisions on fear. I let go of finding something to fear in everything. I let go of believing that everything is dangerous and headed for disaster. I see the humor in my exaggerated reactions to unreal dangers. I find a humorous response to every irrational fear. I smile at my scared ego and shrug off its fears. I let go of my fear of aloneness or of time on my hands. I let go of my fear of abandonment. I let go of my fear of closeness. I let go of my fear of commitment. I let go of my fear of being vulnerable in relationships. I let go of my fear of giving or receiving. I let go of my fear of loving or being loved. I let go of believing I have to measure up to what others want me to be. I give up having to be perfect. I let go of my performance fears. I let go of my sexual fears. I am confident in my ability to deal with people or situations that scare me. I let go of my fear of any person. I let go of my fear of what they can do to me. I let go of my fear of saying no to others. I let go of my fear of saying yes. I cease being intimidated by others' anger. I give up trying to appease those who intimidate me. Attempts to bully me now fall flat. I let go of being on the defensive. I protect myself while always being committed to nonviolence. I stick to my guns and I hold my fire. I let go of feeling obliged to do things his, her, their way. I let go of the need to meet others' expectations. I state and protect my personal boundaries. I let go of my fear of what might happen if people dislike me. I let go of my terror about disapproval, ridicule, exclusion, or rejection. I dare to stop auditioning for people's approval or love. I give up the need to correct people's impressions of me. I give up my poses, pretenses, and posturings. I dare to be myself. I dare to show my hand, to show my passions, to show my enthusiasms, to show my real feelings, longings, and needs. I want my every word, feeling, and deed to reveal me as I truly am. I give up being afraid of what I want. I ask for what I want. I love being found out, caught in the act of being my authentic self. I dare to live the life that truly reflects my deepest needs and wishes. I let go of the fear that I will lose money, lose face, lose freedom, lose friends, lose respect, lose status, lose my job, lose out. I let go of my fear of having to grieve. I let go of fears about my inadequacy as a parent, partner, or friend. I let go of my fear of the fearsome givens of life, impermanence, change, suffering, unfairness, failed plans, losses, betrayals. I am flexible enough to accept life as it is. I am forgiving enough to accept how I have lived my life so far. I trust my present predicament as a path. I let go of control. I let the chips fall where they may. I let go of more than any fate can take away from me. I cease being afraid of my own power. I cease being afraid of the power of others. I let go of my fear of authority. I speak truth to power. I dare to take a stand for the oppressed and the marginalized. I join with the most vulnerable in our society. I dare to devote my life to co-creating a world of justice, peace, and love. As I show courage for social justice, I notice I am letting go of fear in all areas of my life. I trust ever-renewing sources of bravery within me. I let go of having any fear stop or drive me. Nothing forces me, nothing holds me back. I am a hero. I live through pain and am transformed by it. I show grace under pressure. I stop running. I stop hiding. I have pluck and wit. I meet danger face to face. I stand up to a fight. I speak up for myself and others. I let go of hesitation and self-doubt. I notice primitive dreads in me. For example, if I love something, I will lose it or have it taken away. If something is good, it won't last. What is bad will get worse. I recognize these beliefs as superstitions and let go of the fears that support them. I take risks, and yet I act with responsibility and caring. I keep finding alternatives behind the apparent dead end of fear. I let go of scanning my life to find a reason to be afraid. More and more, my fear is becoming healthy excitement. I let fear go and let joy in. I let fear go and let love in. I am grateful for the love that awaits me everywhere. I know I am deeply loved by many people near and far. I feel lovingly held by a higher power. As I devote myself more and more to a higher power than myself, I feel it alive through, with, and in me. I believe that I have an important destiny and that I am living in accord with it. I am more and more aware of others' fears, more and more sensitive to them, more and more compassionate toward them. I enlarge my circle of love to include every living being. I keep finding ways to show my love. I am great-hearted and bold-spirited. I let go of ill will toward those who have hurt me. I do good to those who hate me, bless those who curse me, pray or wish enlightenment to those who have mistreated me. I can say ouch and open a dialogue rather than retaliate. I dare to give of myself unconditionally, and I dare to be unconditionally committed to maintaining my own boundaries. I honor and evoke my animal powers, my human powers, my divine powers. I set free my love, till now imprisoned by fear. I set free my joy, till now inhibited by fear. I let true love cast out fear. May I always choose the path of gentle love, the best antidote to fear. I say yes to all that happens to me today as an opportunity to love more and fear less. I keep letting go and I keep going on. I feel an enduring fearlessness awakening in me. I keep affirming my freedom from fear. I am thankful for the grace of finding freedom from fear. May all beings find freedom from fear. Hope you found the video, the affirmations to release ourselves from the grip of fear, useful. And I do recommend listening more than once. And just start to notice if you either have a fewer number of fears, or that when fear comes along, you're no longer overwhelmed by it, that you are finding a way to acknowledge that you feel the same fears that all humans feel. When you heard that list you could say to yourself, you must have said to yourself, oh, these fears that I have must be like the fears of many people because here they are on this list. That shows our connection to all humans. And since fear is a disconnection, just the recognition that we all have the same fears the world over and all through the centuries, it must be that humans have more unity than we even imagine. And so we're appreciating how we're part of the human race, and we're humbly acknowledging that we have the same fears that everybody else has. And so we're experiencing our fears in the context of connection rather than in isolation. Secondly, I'd like to recommend a little program. It's just what I call the 4 A's, because each one begins with an A. And if you want to jot these down, it would be helpful. First, admit when you feel fear. First, admit that you're afraid to yourself and to somebody you trust. So that's the first A, admit. Secondly, allow yourself to feel the fear, so allow. Don't try to get away from it. Don't try to suppress it. Don't try to convince yourself that it isn't real. Just let yourself feel that fear and imagine that fear going through your body like a lightning bolt hitting a lightning rod, and your whole body's a lightning rod. That lightning of fear is going through all the way through your body and out the soles of your feet into the earth. So you're letting the fear go to Mother Earth rather than letting it stop somewhere in you. So when I say allow the fear, I'm trusting that when you allow yourself to feel your feeling, even though it's uncomfortable, but to feel it consciously, breathing into it, a physical experience of fear, I let that fear in and I breathe it through. That's the second part of the practice. So first I admit in words, then I feel in feelings. Third, I act as if, so A for act. I act as if this fear, which may still be hanging on, cannot stop or drive me. The two things a car does. It can't drive me anywhere, can't make me do something, and it can't stop me from doing something. So now I have admit in words, allow in feelings, and act in behavior. And then our final A is affirm. In other words, an affirmation that you make up, not one of the ones from our list, that says something like, day by day, I am releasing myself from the grip of fear. Or I let go of fear in favor of love. Or I hand over my fears to the Sacred Heart. And I return, and I feel love returning to me. I let go of fear. I place my fears into the hands of Mary, and she carries them for me so that I can live with a lot more love of myself and others. So little by little, we are bringing our prayer life into our psychological work. So just one final go through of the four. Admit, allow, act, and affirm. And I really hope this works for you. It certainly is working for me. So thank you and God bless.